Hello and welcome back. I'm Bianca. I'm a chef. I am going to teach you how to sync your cycle to your life and your diet, most importantly. And so today we're going to be talking about the cookware that is most cycle supportive, because there's some cookware that isn't cycle supportive that I don't use anymore, and you probably shouldn't either. So the first thing that I want to just give, praise, treasure, pleasure to the Most High is to whoever decided to cast iron, who was like, oh my God, look at this substance called iron. Let's cast it and then cook in it, because it is everything. So I love cast iron. I have this size. I have this size, which is like a small one. I do eggs and ting in it. And then I have this one that is like a grill pan. And you can grill meat, chicken, seafood, vegetables, all kinds of things. And so one of the things that people are afraid of when it comes to cast iron is that things will stick, things will burn, that it's somehow harder to cook in than other cookware. It's not. The thing about cast iron is there's just some things that you need to consider. Is it well seasoned? If it's not a well seasoned cast iron pan, you might get sticking. Is what you're cooking best suited to cast iron? Look, I don't think there's anything that's not suited to it, but if your skills aren't that great, you might want to start with the easy stuff and then go from there. So if you're new to cast iron cookery, what I would suggest is try doing like a steak or like carrots, like saute them and roast them. If you want me to do a video on how to cook best during your cycle, like what things to cook over your cycle in cast iron, I would love to do that video. All you have to do is say go, and I will literally do it. But I love cast iron because you can cook anything in it. And another thing too is, as females, some of us, after our menstrual phase, we develop anemia. We might have like spots of anemia in our lifetime. One of the best cookwares that you can use is cast iron, because as you cook in it, a little bit of iron, enough that's like cycle supportive and good for you, will leach into your food, so you don't need to take iron supplements or anything. This should help you get your iron levels up and keep them up. And so that's just like another great thing about cast iron. I love cast iron. I can't wait to collect more. I can't wait to will these to my children and my grandchildren because I love it so much. So cast iron, super cycle supportive, and just like a really great way to build flavor. The next is Dutch ovenry, or enameled cast iron is what it's also called. And so these are usually white on the inside, like so. There's big time brands like Staub and Le Creuset. If you want to send me a Le Creuset, please send me a message and I'll send you my address and we'll hook that up. But I love enameled cast iron. This is great if you're making a soup, a stew, a curry, if you're boiling a lot of pasta, if you're making sourdough bread. This is also another great vessel to use for that. And what's great, again, is that there aren't any PFOAs or any of those the Teflon stuff. I don't want to call it out by name, but I don't know what else to call it. And the thing is cooking in those, cooking in a non-stick pan is not a bad thing. They're really great, especially if you make a lot of eggs, but you need to treat those surfaces with kid gloves. And what I mean is no more metal. If you use metal and you scratch that surface, that's when cast iron, or sorry, not cast iron. I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean to insult you. That's when stainless steel, what am I saying? Not stainless steel. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to insult you. That's when non-stick goes from being really convenient and easy to use to being something that could be toxic to you, because once you scratch up that surface, all of those PFOAs and plastics and all of the things that you don't want in your food and in your body, that's how it all gets in there. So, wood. Fun fact, when I was in elementary school, I'm Canadian, they brought in this duo and they played spoons for us, and then you could buy spoons after. My mom said no, but anyways, when I did that, I just thought of that story. But spoons, because this won't scratch up the surface, it's really gentle. You could also use plastic, but the thing about plastic is that once you use it in your hot item, you might be starting to leach plastic into your food. So it's like, we're running up into other problems. It's like, you're not getting the PFOAs from the non-stick surface, then you're getting the plastic from the plastic. So the safest way to go is silicone. Somebody over here? I do. Silicone or wood, especially if you're using a non-stick surface, just to protect the surface and also protect yourself, because all of those things getting into your food, if you want to talk cycle unsupportive, there you go. And then also, stainless steel. I mean, this is the old standby. I mean, I don't think anything's older than cast iron. Quite frankly, I think they were cooking with cast iron in medieval times. But stainless steel is also great as well. Stainless steel will give you the same effects that cast iron will give you, but you're not getting the iron. You're not getting any of that iron that you would get from cooking in cast iron. And the thing about cast iron and stainless steel, and even enameled cast iron, is that these require that you understand that the style in which the food that you're making prefers to be cooked in. So, to give you an example, if you're making a steak and you put your steak down in this cast iron or in this stainless steel, do not move that steak. Don't touch that steak until that steak is ready to be lifted and flipped. It won't lift and flip. And so that's something just to know, because I think sometimes people get nervous. They're like, oh no, it's burning. I can't cook in cast iron because everything burns and you have to be a professional chef. You do not. You just need to know a few things. And like I said, just give me the word and I will do a whole cast iron cooking video. And then the last thing that I want to mention is just that when you are, say you do have to store something in plastic, or you are making something and you don't want it to burn, and or you're using aluminum. A lot of talk of aluminum not being so great for us either. And if you have aluminum baking trays, I'm not saying throw those out, but what I am saying is get yourself some parchment paper. I love parchment paper. When I have parchment paper, I'm like gleeful. And it's because it just makes everything so much easier when you are proofing sourdough in here. Line with cast iron. When you're baking your sourdough, you can even line it with cast iron, or cast iron. I just really love cast iron. I just really want to keep saying it. You will line it with parchment paper. But the thing to remember about parchment paper is the white stuff isn't great because it's bleached. So this is the If You Care brand, and it's non-bleached, completely compostable, and it's chlorine free. Again, when we're talking about being cycle supportive, especially in our diet and how to sync our cycle with our diet, one of the best things that we can do is just eliminate any of these environmental chemicals that will be getting into our body and disrupting our cycle just because we're cooking. I mean, forget about just even the foods that we eat during the different phases of our cycle, but this is something that we carry throughout our cycle, so it really does matter. And so if I were you, I would start to think of how you can start to transition your kitchen into some of these things. And you might be like, yo, I don't have money to go buy all these new things. I'm also going to help you with that area too. Cast iron, if you go to any thrift store, Value Village, Salvation Army, I don't know where you are in the world, but I'm sure there is a church community place where nonas, grandmas, bubbies of all varieties and kinds are giving these things away. They're donating these things. So if you go to one of those places, you are likely to find them. And if they look beat up and rusty, don't worry. Still buy. Actually, the rustier the better. You'll probably get a better deal, because then you can just bring it home and season it, and it'll be the perfect cast iron. When you want to be getting into the enameled and these things, yeah, it's going to be a little bit pricier, but you will have it for your lifetime, unless someone really hates you and takes it outside and throws it on the concrete and they break. You'll probably have it for your whole life. So that is my roundup of cycle supportive cookware and how to sync your life, diet, and kitchen to your cycle.